Hey, welcome back. I wanted to talk about 17 again. I watched it. It's on Netflix. It's a movie with Zac Efron where he becomes 17 again. Matthew Perry becomes 17 again. And he turns into Zac Efron. And I feel like I'd seen the movie before. But I didn't have this realization. And I'm sure it's obvious to anybody who's ever seen... Oh man, I was scratching him before. Both of these movies. It's Back to the Future. I didn't read any reviews of it or anything, but I wonder if the reviews are just like, of all the reviews are just like, this is just straight up Back to the Future. Except instead of a kid going to his parents' high school, it's a dad going to his kid's high school as a kid. And they're the same age. So in Back to the Future, Marty McFly goes to his parents' high school, and they're all the same age. They're all high school age. And in 17 again, Zac Efron goes to his kid's high school, and he's the same age. They're all high school age. And it's a guy and a girl. It's a boy and a girl. And so in 17 again, the storylines are pretty similar. Like Marty McFly's dad. It's not exactly the same, obviously. But the son and the dad, the son in 17 again and the dad in Back to the Future have kind of similar personalities and similar storylines. And the daughter and the daughter in 17 again and the mom in Back to the Future have kind of similar storylines. And the story, I guess the point of 17 again, the plot is somehow some more convoluted than the time travel movie. The time travel movie is pretty simple. Marty McFly goes back in time by accident, and he can't get back to the present because they don't have plutonium, so they need to wait for a lightning to strike the car, and in the meantime he messes up his future because his mom falls in love with him, so his mom and dad don't meet, and that's the plot. Oh, go! Ah! Go! I don't care. Ah, that was it. Oh. Ah. Why did that cloud hold up, but the other ones didn't? But 17 again is not a very good movie. I know Back to the Future is just kind of like a special confluence of things that just kind of all worked right. But I was trying to think, like, what's the difference? If it's the same plot, then like why is it bad? Is it the car? Is it the cool car? That's part of it, maybe. But there's just as much, well, there's more sci-fi in Back to the Future because it's like time travel in a car, and 17 again is just kind of like the boring, mystical, like, oh, a janitor sends you back in time, pushes you off a bridge, and you go back in time. It's kind of dumb. Why couldn't they try to come up with like a Back to the Future explanation for why he was able to be young? Like he has a scientist friend who's like, I'm gonna make you young again. Drink this potion or something. I don't know. It's not terrible, but if you go on Netflix today, it's one of the promoted thing. And one of the things Netflix does, which I like, instead of showing trailers, they show scenes from the movie and from the TV show. And I like that better because trailers, I mean, obviously there's good trailers and there's bad trailers. But a good trailer, what it does is it gets you in the mood of the show. And why not just show a scene from the show? That would get you in the mood, or understand the mood of the show better, wouldn't it? If you just saw a scene. Like if they just picked a good scene from the movie, and like, oh, this is kind of like a good scene, but it doesn't give away the plot. That's better than a trailer. I like that they do that. Here we go. When did I save? Is this the big bad boss for the... Oh no! What? This might be one of those situations where I just don't beat the boss. And I do it tomorrow. But well, I brought that up because the eye catch scene from 17 again is probably the worst scene in the whole movie. So I don't know why I watched it after watching that, but it's the scene where Zac Efron is in the cafeteria. And that's another Back to the Future scene where Marty McFly's in the cafeteria and there's the bully. It reminded me of that make like a leaf and get out of here scene. It's pretty much exactly the same, where Marty McFly's like this, and Zac Efron, they're like really confident because they're not inside the high school ecosystem, like they're not involved, so they can just kind of be above it and be like, oh, I'm cooler than you. So Marty McFly's like really confident. It's like he's about to punch Biff in the face. And there's a similar scene in 17 again but it's terribly written. Where he takes down the bully. There's like a bully in the school, and he's like, what was the line? I think I might have written it down. According to leading psychologists, there's 3 reasons why whatever is a bully. That's awful. According to leading psychologists, what's he talking about? It's one of those scenes where like it kind of feels like it's hard to explain. It feels like a high school kid writing it, but it shouldn't, because the character is an adult. It should feel like an adult. It's like a high school kid's fantasy of taking down a bully. But if an adult was really in that position, they wouldn't do that. And they wouldn't be so pseudo-intellectual about it. I don't know, maybe they would. I'm pseudo-intellectual all the time. According to leading psychologists. Like, what are you talking about? And then he gives 3 examples. He's like, which are not, according to leading psychologists, these are the examples? I don't think so. The example was, can I just die? What happens if I die? I don't know. I'm going to find out. The first example was, basically, the bully is gay and he doesn't know how to deal with it, so that's why he's a bully. The second one is, what's the second one? Maybe that like his dad beats him or something. And then the third one is that he's not well endowed, I guess. and then it was like, oh, he just took down that bully. But if there was a real adult in that room, it would have been like, what? According to leading psychologists, nerd? What are you talking about? That doesn't make any sense. Can you show your sources on that? Okay, I did something, but I wasted all my Mushrooms. I'm probably gonna die. Such a weird boss. Yeah, I'm dead. Let's do the Yoshi thing. Get Yoshi in here. What did I do? What was that? Thanks, Yoshi. I think I'm gonna die. I need to be better prepared. Be prepared. Boom. Boom, 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 boom. That was my other note about 17 again. Yeah. Well, basically that was exactly like Back to the Future. And there's a scene which seemed, I guess you could say, if you're being uncharitable, you would say, well, it ripped off Back to the Future pretty much exactly. But you could, if you like the movie, you say, oh, it's kind of like an homage to Back to the Future. There's a scene where Zac Efron gets knocked out, and he wakes up in his daughter's, in a bed, and his daughter's there, and it's exactly the same scene as the Peeping Tom scene in Back to the Future, where Marty gets knocked out by the car, and he wakes up in the bed. And the mom, like, falls in love with him. And it's the same thing. It's like the daughter falls in love with him. So, it's weird. I would say... I would err on the side of, well, it's kind of a ripoff. It's not really... Because I don't really like the movie. Well, no, I don't like it. I was pretty hard on Easy A. So I can't say, well, I like this movie, but I don't like Easy A. Easy A is a better movie than this. But I don't like either of them. But it's, at least we have Back to the Future, right? This kind of movie kind of proves like, well, Back to the Future could have been terrible if they didn't know what they were doing. Or if they just kind of made some mistakes. Yeah, I guess I was thinking about how Back to the Future doesn't really feel like a high school movie. Because I'm noticing I don't really like high school movies. Movies about kids in high school. There's no way I beat this guy. Maybe it's just because, I don't know, everybody seems so much older. And maybe that's a function of like, well, when I saw it when I was young, so they always seem so much older. But they're high school kids. They're 10 years younger than me in the movie. I know Crispin Glover's like, whatever, he's like 40 in Back to the Future. He seems like he's 40. He doesn't seem like a high school kid. Why did I do that? Back to the Future, I don't know, it's cooler. Like, the climax of 17 again is when they're in a courtroom, and it's like, in a courtroom climax? That's boring and cliche and dumb. I do like the arc of the main character who's like, oh, the reason why I got sent back in time is because I need to help my kids. Oh, this seems like a long time ago, doesn't it? And then he realizes, no, the reason I got sent back is because I want to love my wife or whatever. Is this the thing? Yup. Oh. Cool. That's helpful. Now I'm gonna save again. And I think that's it for today. And then I'll beat the boss tomorrow. Okay, how was this week? I still feel like I'm not doing something I should be doing. Like addressing the audience or whatever. But I know the only person watching is the geek with anxiety person. Thanks. Should I ask what your name is? Maybe not. But thanks for watching. I try to write nice comments when you comment, and when I like to comment, that's good. That's nice. Thank you. But hopefully I picked good notes this week, because I still have a lot of notes, but I was like, you gotta pick the best ones. Whoops, I moved the camera. Okay. Yeah, I did want to ask, like, what should I be doing? Oh, I think you made a comment yesterday that was like, talk about your 5 favorite games, talk about your 5 favorite movies. So I gotta write that down, and I gotta do that. I didn't do that this week. Somebody asked me a long time ago. Something similar, like talk about your favorite things, but maybe doing a top 5 list would be better. But that's hard. How do you pick? Number 5. Tsushima. Okay. See you tomorrow. Bye.